All people were worried about during this time was a Verichip injection. They didn't do it this way. They didn't chip people this way. They found another covert means of doing it. I believe RFID and other implantable technologies are extremely dangerous to privacy, and that is why I'm speaking out. I believe the microchip plays a part in the overall mark of the beast because it links you or hardwires you to the World Wide Web. This type of implantable technology will play an essential role in the tracking of humankind upon the Earth in the near future.
Revelation 14, 8 through 11.
And there followed another angel saying, Babylon is fallen, that great city, because she made all nations drink of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, If any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of God, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels, and in the presence of the Lamb. And the smoke of their torment ascendeth up forever and ever. And they have no rest, day nor night, who worship the beast and his image, and whosoever receiveth the mark of his name.
Okay, so that was some information on the Mark of the Beast and its technology and how it seems to be being pushed through the money system. They're trying to make it easier for you to buy things. They're always trying to make it easier for you to buy things. I mean, why worry about pulling out cash or counting cash or, pulling out your credit card or whatever, when you could just swipe your hand and cross the thing or whatever and just walk out the door. It's just that easy, instantly. Well, that's basically what they're doing is they're making it seem like it's they got your best interest in mind. And they're kind of leaning you toward, hey, why don't you just go toward this new thing and just get the chip in your hand? It's just easier. Or there's one other thing that they're using is digital tattoos or something like that. I don't know exactly what they're called, but it's like basically a barcode that you put on your hand. It just lasts for a little while or whatever, and you can put a new one on or whatever. For those Christians or whoever, I imagine they're aiming for Christians because Christians won't take the mark. So anyway, they're putting it out there that you can just get this thing and it just goes on your hand. But either way, you're really just endorsing the system. Even if you did get that, you're just endorsing it. You're pushing it. Because eventually that'll go away and then it'll just be the mark. And then eventually you'll just be getting the chip. It's just easier. Look at cell phones. This is kind of what I'm always thinking of. When I think of the Mark of the Beast, look at cell phones. How far we've come with cell phones. It started off like, I don't really need one of those cell phones. I remember this is what I was thinking in high school before cell phones were a thing. Basically, nowadays, I have an iPhone 6. So, see how far we've advanced in cell phone technology? Now, the same thing is going to happen with the chip. I imagine it'll start off with this basic bare bones thing, kind of like now, but even the one that's out there now is tracking you. I mean, it's able to track you, just like your cell phone can track you. In fact, your cell phone can listen to you, every little thing you're doing. I mean, I'm recording this on an iPad, and I'm sure that this thing is recording everything somewhere, the NSA or whatever, is recording this somewhere in some data file somewhere for the beast brain system one day or whatever. I know that sounds crazy, and a lot of people probably think, oh, you're overthinking it. It's not about that, or they're trying to keep us safe. Really? Have they stopped a terrorist yet? What about the ISIS bases being built in America right now? Has anyone stopped that yet? You see, they say that they're using this for your security or for your safety, but it's really going to be used against you. And plus, even if the government was all good and all fine and they were just doing this honestly to do this for your best of interest, what happens if an evil person gets in charge of that government and started using the technology that government built up against the people wherever? That's what will happen. So I don't see how it's a good thing. Just convenience is a problem with Americans. We will sell our soul for convenience. That's pretty much what's going on. Unfortunately, that is a hard truth, and people just go, "Oh, it's more convenient. It's easier. It's easier for me to just pay with PayPal, or whatever." Unfortunately, PayPal has endorsed the gay agenda that's really shoved down everyone's throat. So I don't really agree with them, but I don't agree with a lot of these corporations that are out there these days. I mean, I really wish that there was Christian businesses, like real Christians, not fake ones that say, "Oh, I'm a Christian," and then they go to Hillsong churches or whatever, and they like to watch naked cowboys playing guitar or whatever. I mean, those churches are known for pretty much doing anything that the world endorses. In fact, they will probably be the first ones to take the mark. Getting back onto the topic, the chip that goes on as like a tattoo, though, if you get that, you're going to be basically endorsing the same thing. It's no different than taking the mark because you will be able to be tracked with that as well. You're going to get tracked no matter what. The reason for the cashless society is to watch everybody's spending, to watch what you buy, to know everything about you. Whether you know it or not, what you buy really tells a lot about you. I mean, it's not enough that they know everything already because they listen in on everything. But now they want to know everything about what you buy, how much, because what they're going to do is they're going to measure every ounce of food you eat, every ounce of water you drink, how much you got, how much you have, how much you think you need, and then they're going to try and weigh it out and tell you. They'll start off with charging you for overconsumption. And then it'll go into you're a bad person because you're taking in too much. And look over here, because we're going toward a one world government and a one world united world. So, of course, if you're consuming too much here in the United States and somebody over in Taiwan somewhere is only got like 2 jugs of water and you got 5, well, obviously you're a criminal, That's really where it's going. I mean, that's really the kind of stuff that this seems to be leaning toward. There's movies that talk about this type of stuff, older movies like THX 1138. I mean, I think it was George Lucas's first film. I own that film because that pretty much tells us about our future and our medication addiction and how they keep us sedated, basically, so we won't be too radical and wanting to fight the government. Basically, that's really the sum of this. It's all about tracking and control. It's going to lead to control. The only thing I really need to say here is basically don't take the mark. I don't care if you're not Christian or if you are a Christian, please don't take the mark. Because if you take the mark, you lose your chances at ever knowing Jesus. You will never know Jesus if you take the mark. You have no chance. If you are a Christian and you feel like how are you going to support your family? You got to understand, you need to put your faith in Jesus Christ. The Lord provides for even the birds. It says that in the Bible. I didn't expect to be using this quote, but so I don't know exactly where, but it basically says that God provides for even the birds, all their needs. Now, you might not have a rich mansion and everything like Joel Osteen or whatever, but you'll have a place. You'll have food. As long as you are believing in the Lord and trusting in Him. Do you think that He will leave you out and he will just let you die. He'll just let you suffer and just, whatever. You need to be praying and asking him for guidance in this situation where the world is basically pushing you into taking the mark. And if you don't, eventually you'll be killed anyway. So that's kind of what's happening. That pretty much is what the heart of this whole deal is they're going to try to push a system that they know Christians cannot be a part of. They know these people worship Satan at the top, okay? So I think they know the Bible better than most Christians, honestly, because they seem to go counter exactly what is in the Bible. They go the opposite direction. They say Satan is God, and they say Jesus is the Antichrist. That's what they believe. That's not what I believe. So if we know what they believe, we can counter it or try to get around it by going the other way. I'm not saying join them. I would never say to join them. But what I'm saying is these people are deceived from Satan. They probably were taken up to a high place and asked if they would just worship them, they could have all the kingdoms of the world, just like Satan did to Jesus. I'm sure that Jesus was not the only one that happened to. I think that'll be about it for the show. I hope you enjoyed some of the content. This was a heavy content show, but I just couldn't leave those videos out. So I hope you enjoyed that. So with that, that's the show. Thanks for listening. In India, the gospel of Jesus Christ is not popular, nor is the God of the Bible. As followers of the Lord, we have a mission to preach the gospel of Jesus Christ throughout the whole world, even to the sick and needy, even in the most dangerous places. Amen India is doing just that. They travel to leper colonies and small villages all over India, preaching the gospel. Please support Amen India. This is a ministry in need of your donations and prayer. Pastor Simon Peter Tadapudi leads this ministry, but is in need of a van to travel to the villages in India. Please help him deliver the gospel of Jesus Christ in a land with many gods, but in need of a relationship with the one true God of the Bible. Please donate your tithe today and help spread the gospel. Their website is amenindia.org. And thank you. If you enjoy this show, please feel free to share it. You can find us on Spreaker, iTunes, and most podcatchers. And if you'd like to support the show, please leave a review on iTunes or Spreaker or wherever you find this show. And for more information on this show, go to the Fringianity Underground podcast Facebook group and like us. Images will be posted there for this show and others as well. Please check Spreaker or wherever you get this podcast every Sunday evening for new episodes. And thank you for listening.